The Yankees move on. Beat the Boston Red Sox. Nobody thought they could. Can't beat the Red Sox. Can't beat anybody but anybody from the AL Central. That's it. You don't beat your own division. You don't beat any good teams. Haven't beat them all regular season long. Can't beat them. Can't beat them. Well, they beat them tonight, and they're moving on to take on the frauds on their journey to a championship. As last night we saw, obviously, they win the game. We'll get beating Boston. Feels so freaking good. It feels so good to beat Boston for the first time since 2003. It feels so good to beat them in the postseason. It feels so good to beat Alex Cora. It feels so good. It just dawned on me now as I was watching the highlights and watching some of the post-game sound. It's so good to send Alex Bregman home. I know it's not the Astros, but to send Alex Bregman home, a loser, is the cherry on top of this. It feels so good to come back from losing that first game and play the way they did in these two games and send the Boston Red Sox home. It feels so good, Yankee fans. There's no way to deny it. This is as good a win. This is as good a win as any they had last year, including getting sent to the World Series. You have to win this series. You couldn't lose to the Red Sox again, and thankfully they did not. And then, obviously, what we watched last night, it's hard to put into words. It truly is. Sitting there, I was home. I didn't go to the ballpark last night. I was home with the kids. They didn't make it the entire game. They passed out eventually, but we're watching the game, and I'm sitting there, and it's inning by inning, and Cam Schlittler, this kid who started the year in Double-A, this kid who nobody knew. I follow the farm system. I heard his name once or twice. Who the hell is Cam Schlittler? Who the hell is Cam Schlittler? He comes up mid-season around July and throwing 100 miles an hour. We're all intrigued, and we're all like, oh, my God, he's throwing 100. To watch what he's become. I mean, and if you think about it, this is a kid who, during the 12-game gauntlet, where they needed to prove that they could do something like this, otherwise Yankee fans weren't going to get behind him. He starts that first game against Toronto, who he's going to have a chance to go make up for it. But he can't get out of the second inning. He gives up 3 in the first, 1 in the 4. He can't strike anybody out. It's this 40-pitch inning. It's a debacle of a start. Really, the only one miserable start he had all year. That's the last time he pitched in a really big, meaningful game. That's the other big game he's had so far this year, and he couldn't get out of the second inning. And many of us were questioning whether or not it was the right move to start him in this third game. Well, Luis Gil's been more consistent, or Luis Gil, is not a rookie. He pitched last year. Luis Gil, he's gotten out of jams. Cam Schlittler couldn't get out of that couple innings in Toronto. Cam Schlittler works better out of the bullpen because I trust him to throw strikes. You might go Luis Gil in the start. The Yankees knew exactly who to go to. There was never a doubt. They set up this rotation just for this. They set up the rotation knowing they were going to go to Cam Schlittler in game number 3. I don't think they expected 8 innings of shutout baseball, 12 strikeouts, 0 walks, 1 runner to reach second base all night. I mean, I can count on one hand the 3-ball counts in the entire game. That was as dominant a performance I have ever seen. We could talk about any other game. We could talk about Roger Clemens in the 2000 World Series. And I said it in the video I put out on Instagram or with the company. And everybody's like, oh, Don Larson, because I said it's the greatest playoff win or the greatest playoff start in Yankee history. And, to me, in 1956, there were no playoffs. They went straight from division title to World Series. And forget all that. This is the best I've ever seen. When you take into account the circumstances, right? Roger Clemens, great. Game 4. Even Andy Pettitte in the World Series. There was a game to play. The next day, there would still be a game to play had the Yankees lost either of those games. This is a do or die. And I know it's not the World Series, it's the Wild Card Series. There is no World Series if you don't win the Wild Card Series. There is no run to greater heights if they don't win this game. This is a game against the Boston Red Sox. Win or go home. Not the team, the season on the line, jobs on the line. There's a good chance Aaron Boone gets fired if they lose this game. He still might get fired. I don't know, but I'm pretty damn sure he gets fired. You're talking about a game where a rookie who started the year in Double-A came up in July. The last time we saw him in a big game, couldn't get out of the second inning, and he's standing on the mound to beat the Boston Red Sox in a do-or-die game on a 15-year championship drought where the fan base is going to go absolutely nuts if they lose again to the Boston Red Sox. He's on the mound. They haven't beaten the Red Sox since 2003 in the postseason. They were showing all the different times that at the beginning of the broadcast, all the different times that they've played in do-or-die games. It was all Yankees for the first 135 years, and then in recent memory, it's been all Red Sox. 21 wild card. 18 series. 2003, we know it. They have owned the Yankees. Owned them. And to give that performance where it was he didn't have to do anything other than throw his four-seamer and throw his sinker. He mixed in the cutter every once in a while. He mixed in the breaking ball every once in a while. But I can't remember a straight up and against a Boston team that is supposedly their strength offensively is hitting fastballs. He was just... it was unbelievable. He didn't have to land his secondary stuff. He didn't have to mess around at all. He went right after them, top of the zone, and they had no answer for him. I'm sorry. I remember that Roger Clemens game. I do. And sure, that Seattle team had some, really dynamic hitters in it. Bregman, Story. This is a decent Red Sox lineup. That lineup was better. 15 strikeouts, 1 hit, Roger Clemens. Sure, it's a dominant performance. But I don't ever remember Roger Clemens just saying, here comes my sinker at 101 down the middle. I dare you to hit it. That was a just straight up, I am going to throw a 100-mile-an-hour sinker at the top of the zone, at the bottom of the zone. I'm going to pound the strike zone. I am not going to mess around. I'm not going to try and get you to swing at balls in the dirt. I'm not throwing sliders outside the zone. I am pounding the strike zone with my 100-mile-an-hour sinker and 100-mile-an-hour four-seamer, and you can't hit me. From a rookie in a do-or-die game against the Boston Red Sox at Yankee Stadium. I'm sorry. That's as great a performance as I've ever seen. When you take in all of that into account, that is an absolutely stunning performance. Stunning. Stunning. There's nothing else to say. It's a stunning performance. I thought he would have a good performance. I thought the Yankees had the better pitching matchup. I've told you from the beginning, I was extremely confident. I came in here after the loss in Game 1. I defended Aaron Boone for taking out Max Fried. I killed him for some other things, but I defended him for that move, and I told you the Yankees are going to still win the series. I am still supremely confident. I liked them tonight. I think everybody liked them tonight after winning Game 2. But I never thought Cam Schlittler. I would have taken 5 innings. Easy. You give me 5 innings, a couple runs, I would sign for it. Said the same thing about Carlos Rodon last night. 6 and 3, I'd sign for it. Although you don't like giving back the lead multiple times for him. But still, I just wanted a representative start, keep the Yankees in the game, get to the bullpen, score some runs off a young kid. That's what I expected from this offense. And to watch him go out there and just dominate, as a Yankee fan watching it, it was hard to believe. You had to take a step back every few innings or every few, at bats and go, what are we watching? What are we watching? It wasn't a crafty, well-pitched game. It honestly wasn't even a well-pitched game. It was I'm better than you, and I'm going to blow it right by you. It was dominance like I can't remember. That is an utterly brilliant performance. And Boone lets him go 8. I think that answers the question to all the people that, he would never try. He relies strictly on the numbers. He relies strictly on the spreadsheet. They have a plan. It doesn't matter how good the pitcher's pitching. He won't stick with them. If he was the manager of the Red Sox, Garrett Crochet would have never gone as far as he went. I think we saw last night that when you are dominant, and Max Fried wasn't dominant, although putting up zeros, Aaron Boone's not an idiot. Congratulations. We all can at least step back and say Aaron Boone's not an idiot. But when you look at this game and you look at this series, here's the main thing. The fears about playing the Boston Red Sox, the fears about playing the Toronto Blue Jays, the fears about playing the better teams in baseball that so many Yankee fans have about making the critical mistake, being sloppy defensively, being sloppy on the base paths, some of the things that killed them specifically in the late innings of Game 1 and then obviously the fifth inning of Game 5 in the World Series last year is going to creep up. All you have to do is play baseball against the Yankees. Well, last night, the Yankees played baseball against the Boston Red Sox and Alex Cora, and they failed. That's what I love about this series, and specifically this game. Because outside of Cam Schlittler, who was obviously incredible, obviously the headline, obviously the big story, the fact of the matter is the Yankees didn't win this series pounding home runs. The Yankees didn't win this series with the Bash brothers of Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton hitting home run after home run and scoring a ton of runs and outplaying their bad defense and outplaying who they are and out-homering all their deficiencies, and that all of those will still crop up sometime down the line because ultimately that's what the Booney baseball will happen. Instead, 2 games that they won because they outplayed the Red Sox in every which way. They outplayed them defensively. They outplayed them in the big moments. The turning point of Game 2, the 7th inning, they can't get down the bunt. They can't get the big hit. They make the mistake on the base path, not scoring on the Jazz's great defensive play. And the Yankees are the ones turning great double plays. The Yankees are the ones with Jazz Chisholm making that diving stop. The Yankees are the one watching Anthony Volpe, playoff Anthony Volpe, save Jazz from an error and have a huge play at second base. Save Devin Williams in Game 2 of a bad throw and still turns it into a double play. The Yankees, watching last night's fourth inning, the Yankees were the team that put the ball in play. The Yankees were the team that made the Red Sox play baseball. I wonder if the Yankees will be on podcasts after this, bashing the Red Sox and talking about how the scouting report is to put the ball in play. Because that fourth inning starts, the fourth inning where all the runs are scored, starts with, Bellinger popping the ball up. Let's be totally honest. We're going to pound our chest and have some fun, there's no doubt. That's an out. What are the Red Sox doing? This is supposed to be a great defensive outfield. That ball's in the air for forever. Somehow it falls in. They're putting, their little base hits. Anthony Volpe again, playoff Volpe. Rosario, who's in the lineup for offense against the left-handed pitcher, comes through with the base hit. Another tip of the cap to Aaron Boone for playing Rosario over McMahon. And still having McMahon for defense late. You're watching that play late. We'll get to that as well. But that inning, bloop double that has no business falling. A walk, a base hit in the hole, a little opposite, take an inside fastball, a Jeterian swing, if I may, from Anthony Volpe and sends a 12-hopper through the first and second base hole. Then Wells hits a ground ball to the first baseman. Yeah, he hit it hard, but it's a ground ball to the first baseman. That's a double play. And instead it goes off his glove, past the second baseman, two more runs score, 4-0, and 4 was more than enough with Cam Schlittler. But the Yankees took it to the Sox. Oh, they don't play Boston well. When the Red Sox show up to Yankee Stadium, the Yankees fold. When the Red Sox show up to Yankee Stadium, the Yankees kick the ball around. When the Red Sox show up to Yankee Stadium, Alex Cora and the great big bad Red Sox kick the crap out of the New York Yankees, and the Yankees don't know how to fight back. And when the Yankees get punched, they don't know how to punch back. And the Yankees are an embarrassment. And the Yankees can't play good teams. And the Yankees this and the Yankees that. Well, in the postseason, right now, Forget everything else about what we saw. They just took it to Boston. They outplayed them. They outsmarted them. They outdefended them. They outran them. They didn't just out-homer them. They didn't just out-talent them. They outplayed them. And Alex Cora, I'm not saying he's a bad manager. He's a very good manager. He won a championship, fine. And I wonder if anyone's going to say Aaron Boone managed circles around Alex Cora. I wonder, considering he won the series. But Alex Cora and the way he managed the game in game number 2, going to his bullpen as early as he did, kind of impacted how long he was going to leave early into this game. I thought he left early way too long in this game to allow him that inning to unfold. And yeah, he wasn't giving up hard hits, but the broadcast was saying it. Does anybody want to come out and talk to this kid? Where's Alex Cora to come out and talk to the young kid as the inning is unraveling around him? The Yankees got out of the big 7-inning jam in game number 2. The Yankees were the ones who made the big plays. The Yankees were the ones who, in the outfield kept singles from being doubles. They were the ones who made the plays. They outplayed the Boston Red Sox. They didn't just out-homer them. It was as satisfying a win as we've had in a long time, because you can't dismiss it, right? You can't dismiss it as, it's just the Kansas City Royals. You can't dismiss it and say, it's just the AL Central Guardians. They don't belong in the sport anyway. This is a team that you might try to dismiss it now, you Yankee haters, and say they're not very good, and, Roman Anthony's injury, and Lucas Giolito's injury, and they didn't have the pitching, and let's be honest, this is a team that's a year or two away from competing. You're supposed to beat this team. You're at home. Nonsense. Because every Yankee hater and every self-loathing Yankee fan, or every Yankee fan who had all the issues they had about this team, went into this series scared as hell and convinced that they couldn't beat the Red Sox. Convinced they couldn't beat the great Alex Cora. And the Yankees outplayed him in every single way after game number 2. And let's be honest, outside of, the decision to go to Weaver, and however you feel about it, and Weaver blowing the game, outside of that, and maybe Judge not being, that Judge not getting the ball in quick enough to second base and allowing, Sogard to get that, turn that into a double, and that base hit gives them the 2-run lead. Like, outside of those 2 moments, the New York Yankees played a pretty much flawless game of baseball. You look at what Anthony Volpe did. You look at then, obviously, the moment, the signature moment of McMahon going into the Boston dugout on that great play. And then even the final out, shades of Charlie Hayes catching it right there in that spot. This was a huge win for the Yankees. I said it from the beginning. I thought this was the toughest matchup they would face. Not guaranteeing victory the rest of the way. And the World Series is different. But through the American League, with the teams that are left, and the idea that it's not a 3-game series, that you have some time to breathe, and you have enough games where the better teams can have a better chance of rising to the crop as opposed to these 3-game series. 3 games against the Boston Red Sox, Garrett Crochet, and this Red Sox team was the toughest matchup they were going to face in the American League. They fell behind 1-0. Everybody lost faith. The series was over. There was no chance they would win, and they got off the deck and won 2 games in the exact manner in which every single Yankee fan was afraid they would lose. Every single Yankee fan was afraid they would lose just the way the Red Sox lost. Just that way. That's satisfying.